Well, welcome to revision 2, and in this session we're going to be looking at rounding and estimating using our calculators as well as doing it without our calculators. So the first thing we're going to do is rounding. So if I have this number like this, and I'm also going to introduce the word truncated, so you'll get to know what that means as well. It says round to two significant figures, and they write it as sig fig normally. So this means rounding it to the two most important figures that you have here. So most people see that as a 3, but actually that's 30,000. So I'm going to write 30,000 underneath it. And then that next one is 4,000. And so on. And you can see how this number is being built up with all of this. So doing this way is quite an interesting way of seeing the number, and a lot of people struggle to see the number, but here we go. So what I want to know is I want it to two most significant figures. That's my first significant, 30,000, and then it's 4,000. Now that could become a 5,000 if the number to the right is a high number. Remember, high numbers are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 high. Low numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Low, stay low. Okay, if it's a high 5, you go up. If it's a low number, you stay. So here we can see it's going to be just simply 34,000. You can't leave it as 34. You have to remember to leave it as 34,000. Then the question says, what about when you've got decimal numbers and you have to round them to one, in this case, one significant figure. So let's write that question out. As you can see, it says to one significant figure, and really I can follow the same rule here. So I'm going to do it like this. I like using different colours because why not? And so I'll quickly go through. Now obviously I'm doing more than you actually need to do because it only wants it to one significant figure, but I'm just trying to illustrate a point here. So what we have here, we want it to one sig fig, and we can see it's the most important number there is the 4. So that's our number pattern there. That's the most significant figure because the zeros don't count if they're not between numbers. So the 4, but with the next number being a 5 high number, means that I have to go up to a 5. So our answer here, if it's to one sig fig, is going to be 0.005. So that's one significant figure. And then we have decimal places. So let's squeeze that over here. So we've got this number 6.4524, and they want it to two decimal places, 2 dp. They sometimes call it decimal places like that. Now this is slightly easier. We don't have to copy all this out like that. We simply draw a line after the second decimal place, like that. And is that a high number? No. So therefore it simply reads as 6.45. Now I want to talk about the word truncated. Okay, see if I can spell it. Truncated simply means to chop. Literally just to chop. So if I wanted to truncate this number to two decimal places, I'd simply just chop off those numbers there. Literally just chop it off. If I wanted to truncate this to one decimal to one significant figure, I'd simply chop it there. So if you said truncate to one digit, in this one it would simply be 4. It wouldn't be the 5. You're simply chopping it off. Literally just chopping it off. If I truncated this to 4 significant figures, it would be 34270. Just chop it off. It's a really weird word. I've really never really used it much, and I don't know why you would use it. It doesn't seem very mathematical to me. So now we're going to just quickly go to estimate. Now estimate is really important how to do this. A lot of people get it wrong, so listen carefully. You need to make all these numbers to one significant figure. And that is what a lot of people get stuck with, especially if you put this into a calculator, you know, calculator paper. People immediately want to use a calculator. Or the other thing they want to do is get it more, what they think is more accurate. But here the question is simply saying estimate what you roughly think this is. So what we have to do is we have to convert all these numbers to one significant figure. So it's just one number. So it's not going to be an 8 because that's a 7 high. So that's a 9. 20.3, well that's just simply going to be 20, not 2, 20. 8.898, well that's literally going to be 9 minus 6. Now you solve it. And often with these sort of questions, it drops out quite nicely. So 2 9s are 18, chuck the naught. 9 to take away 6 is 3. And I know that how many 3s go into 18? 6. So I know that cancels down. So it roughly becomes 60. And that symbol means roughly. Then the question says, use a calculator for this bit here. Now, with the calculator, I always find the best thing you can do is introduce the idea of brackets. Brackets, I think, are really good. So I've got my calculator, and I'm going to use the bracket button. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this square root, then I have an open bracket, because it's big underneath, and then I'm going to put this little bracket in, square, minus this bracket, squared, close that bracket. So that's how I'm going to fill it all in. Now, I might be excessive here, but if I get used to brackets, then I can answer most of these questions easily. So turn it on, as you can see it's flashing. So the square root button, then open bracket, I need to put 39.3, close bracket, squared, minus, and one reason you do the brackets is because you don't know if that square root, how that works, and this is a lot safer way of doing it. 1.24, close bracket, squared, close bracket, and then of course I need to make that flash fully on the right hand side, equals, and often they'll ask you to fill out the answer completely, and then of course what they sometimes ask is now round that number up to 2 decimal places or to, you know, significant figures, etc. But that's how you do these questions.